Hey everyone, this is Ben Proco with the Brickhouse Off-Road Triathlon, Duathlon, and I know it says 5K, but this year we've added a little bit more, and it's an aquathon now with a 400-meter swim and 2-mile run for those who don't have an off-road bike. So let's go ahead and get started here. This is You're going to be coming in from 362, and you're going to come to Magnolia Hill Ranch. Just keep your eye out for it. We'll try to have some signs out there for you, but it really does come up quick if you don't know exactly where it's at. Race parking will be here. There'll be someone here to park you. If you're racing or volunteering, that land use fee has been covered for you. But if you are just coming to spectate, there's a $10 land use fee. And if you're coming to spectate and you have a few minutes and want to help out, just let me know, and I'll put you down as a volunteer for the race. Make sure this will be closed off here. This is the road that kind of heads to transition up this driveway. If you decide to pre-ride on Saturday, you can come up this road, and just be careful because some people might be pre-riding, and there's some spots here where the bike course comes out onto the road. So be cautious if you're driving. Also be cautious if you were pre-riding on Saturday. And I'll show you where to park if you're pre-riding here. And just to let you know, all these maps are available on our website here under courses. So here's the bike course. It's going to go around the parking lot in some shape, form, or fashion, probably similar to this. And then this year we aren't going out on the driveway. We have a spot where we can cut back into the woods for some new single track, which is really exciting. All right, like I said, if you're pre-riding, you'll be coming up that driveway and you'll be forced to turn left or right. You just turn left and then kind of park somewhere over here. If you want to get a pre-ride in, that puts you near the bike course start here, just as long as we haven't set up anything for the finish line yet. Kind of how everything is going to work. Swim in will be here, which is also the run in for the duathlon for their first lap, or 3-hour race if you're getting multiple laps in. We got Bike Minded, who will be there for your mechanical needs should something occur. Justin's been to some of our races before, does some great work to help people keep the race going. Even at one time, someone got a flat and they were able to finish their bike leg, and this is for the longer race last year, and they went and did their run, and they came back, we had their bike ready for them. So you never know, it's kind of a neat kind of pit crew kind of thing if I say something does happen while you're there. Also, if you're doing the aquathon, you got the swim in here, and you guys will be coming through, and you'll be going actually on the bike out, which there probably won't be any bikes at that time heading out. There could be maybe one or two, but when you come through, there shouldn't be anyone, and then you'll just head out and join in on a run course that way. And that's mainly for our timing mats, the way we have them placed. Something to note for sprint athletes, you're going to be doing 2 laps, and your second lap starts with this U-turn right here. We'll have caution tape along here to kind of divide everyone out, and then for you to make your turn. And again, just be cautious as you make that turn. There could be some bikes coming from the other way heading out. And same thing, if you are heading out and seeing someone come back this way, just be mindful. Communicate. Again, this is a small race. There's not going to be much congestion, but we always want to be insightful about what could be something that could happen here. And then here is your turn for the finishing chute. So if the run leg is your last leg, this is where you're going to turn. If you're a 3-hour race and you're in 3 hours hasn't come up yet, you're just going to keep on continuing into transition. So this is going to be for sprint triathletes. Sprint triathletes are never going to go through here. Aquathon's never going to go through here. Duathletes, your first run goes through here, and then your second run you come here for the finish. I said the main thing is just if you're finishing the race, you make this left turn. And 3-hour racers, we'll close this down here as well. We'll put either cone it off or put some tape. So this is the only way to go. So if for some reason you lose track of time, you have to head up to finish here. Last year I went kind of backwards along the coast just to let people know that, that time, if they were going to be close to it, that time was coming near. Swim course. This is brought to you by the Mind Over Matter athletes, Cody and Katie Solbo. Got some great product line. I really recommend checking them out. Just some great looking stuff. For the swim start, that's going to be in this area here. We're going to have you very small swim waves and distanced out at the start. We'll go over a little bit that here in a second. And also, somewhere in this area is where the duathlon is going to start. We're kind of going to look at things that could be up here, could be right over here. So we're going to look at it and see what looks good on race day for us. All right, swim waves. 3-hour race is going to start at 8 o'clock. If I feel like that wave's getting a little bit bigger, like over 20 people or so, we'll go to an 8 o'clock and an 8:05 start, with the women starting at 8:05. Sprint race, you're going to start around 8:20, and I kind of put that 8:20-ish there because I want all the all the 3-hour races. If I ever say 5-hour, I mean 3-hour. I'm just used to last year's race because we did have a 5-hour race on that one. I want to make sure all the 3-hour races are well into their second lap of the swim before I start the sprint racers. So I'll probably make sure that they can at least get to that first turn buoy before I release you guys. And also, going back to the map here, sprint race, yours is pretty simple. You're going to start here, first buoy, right turn, second buoy, right turn, and then head in to the boat ramp. 3-hour racers, same as the sprint racers, except instead of going to the boat ramp on that first lap, you're going to come back across here and then do one more lap and head in from there. So sprint racers 1 lap, and 3 hours we'll have 2 laps. We'll have 20 to 25 athletes per wave. We'll have you at least 6 feet apart at the start. If you're someone who's really eager, likes to be competitive, you probably want to get on that front row that we have marked off. And I say if you're someone who just, kind of likes to ease in, again, I would choose somewhere to the back and to the side, just to, make sure you're away from any sort of congestion. Also, we will have a time trial start available for those who want it. We can only do this for a few people. If we have half the field wanting to do a time trial start, we'll just have to make everything a time trial start. I talked with a timer. I wanted to kind of have the small waves for those who like to be competitive, but then offer that time trial start for those who just do want a little bit more space. But again, the timer said if we start getting too many, we're going to go ahead and just do a time trial start for all. And I'll send an email out asking for anyone who would like to have that time trial start to let me know. And you're going to have to let me know before, at least the day before the race, so we can kind of have everything set up on race morning. Bike course. There's 2 key points to note, and really 3 if you're a sprint racer. Beginning here, shortly after you start, 3-hour racers will take a left turn up the driveway. A little bit more challenging section here and some tighter single track. And sprint racers, you will take a right. So you're going to eliminate this section here. We have a couple reasons for that. So just keep in mind, long course 3-hour race, you're on the left. Sprint racers right. We'll have signs to mark you. Again, I'll work to have a volunteer there to help remind you as well. But as you know, during these times, it's a little bit tougher to get some volunteers out here as well. Next key spot is where the bike and run course kind of join together for a short while. Super wide. It's kind of cool. I actually kind of like watching it, see bikers and runners. But again, it's like crazy wide at that point. Then you split off from them. The runners are going to stay going along the shoreline of the lake, and bikes are going to go to the left. These are going to be marked with signs. If you suddenly see that you're on the bike course and you're seeing only run signs, you're probably going the wrong way. This is why it's good if you're someone who's competitive, pre-ride. Come out Saturday, check it out. If you've never done this course before, check it out. Make sure you know where everything's at. It'll be marked. Pre-ride earlier on Saturday is usually not marked quite as much, but there are markings out there to help guide you. And then throughout the day, we get caution tape, even more arrows up. But again, it does help to pre-ride and just kind of have an idea of when those things are coming up. And then sprint racers, again, here would be that U-turn for the second lap. All right, here's another map. And again, these are available on our website. This is just a heat map showing speeds. I just pulled this up from a ride I did out there in July where I gave a pretty good effort. So you can see the red sections are where I'm going faster. Those are usually downhills or, maybe flat and really smooth. And then you can see the more technical sections where it turns green or blue. If it's windy, kind of turning back and forth and it's blue, probably something I had to really slow down for. Again, this course isn't that technical. It's probably about the easiest mountain bike course you'll have. But it just gives you kind of an idea of where those slower sections might be. And if it's straight in blue or green, like right here, you'll get to see this regardless what race you're doing, just by when you get to walk up the driveway, how steep this section is. So you kind of get to see a little bit of everything out here. Run course brought to you by Good Times Running Company out in Katy. They've been helping provide us with some bib numbers for this race for several years now. Really happy with the support they've been giving the race. Run course, very easy. Pretty big road. The first mile is on very wide, Jeep roads. You easily get 2 vehicles going along this area. So that'll allow you to space out quite a bit if need be. And then after your water station, you have this little section where you'll get to see some bikers going downhill. We'll have that divided, since that is a little bit higher speed for the bikers. That's divided with some caution tape to help keep you separated. Around the lake, up the bluff, where it seems like every time if I'm kind of in this area, talking to athletes, I'm usually there's some choice words for me after they make this little climb here. Always fun to hear their thoughts of what they think of me at that point. And then here's that spot where you divide, where you're going to be going along here, and the bikers are going to break back off this way. So a pretty simple run course, really, but it is challenging. It's fun. Yeah, I love this run course. Some frequently asked questions. Why is it called the Brick House? Because I get that quite a bit. Initially, when I was thinking of this race, my first thought was doing swim, bike, run, swim, bike, run, swim, bike, run, and keep on repeating that. And then I just kind of got worried about the logistics of having people going into the water after 3 hours of racing and how tired they might be. So we decided to make a little bit longer swim at the beginning and then repeat the bike run. And whenever you do multiple sports back to back, that's called a brick. So I was just like, oh, it's kind of like we're building a brick house. We're doing brick after brick after brick. So just kind of had the name Brick House. Will it be wetsuit legal? I put initially there's a slight chance. I'm thinking that chance is a little bit greater with the amount of rain that's coming right now. That should help cool the lake off. But again, I won't know until honestly sometime on Saturday. And when I know, you guys will know. I usually post up on Facebook as soon as I get any sort of information on that. So, please try to hold back from emailing, asking what the water temperature is going to be, because you're going to know as soon as I'm going to know. But I say, I would bring a wetsuit. That's just, I've always found that it's when you don't bring it that it ends up being wetsuit legal. All right, the best bike to use. My favorite thing is just a fully rigid mountain bike. I have a full suspension mountain bike, but I lock the whole thing out just because there's really not that many technical sections where you need the suspension. And suspension just absorbs a little bit more, gives you a smoother ride, but again, it absorbs some of your power too, so that's why I like to just lock it out. I've seen many people do this on a cross bike and hybrid bike. So those bikes will work as well. If it's super, super muddy, those bikes are a little bit more difficult, but I say they will do absolutely fine as long as we don't get 7 inches of rain the night before, like we did our first race. We had 7 inches of rain the night before, and it was pretty sloppy. But I think with everything passing through and having several days, this course does dry really quick, and you actually do want a little bit of rain sometime midweek for ideal riding conditions out there. How's the 3 hour race work? I'll go over that in just a second here. Do I have to go the entire 3 hours? No, you don't. You can do one lap and go to the finishing line if that's all you want to do. If you like thought, wow, this is way more than what I was bargaining for, yeah, you can go to the finish line, still get a finisher medal, and honestly, with you still might even place in your age group too. So you might want to hang around and see if you got an award. Is there a cutoff for the 3 hour and for the sprint for that matter on the swim? No, there's no hard cutoff. Now, if you look like you're semi-drowning out there the whole time, yeah, we might pull you out just because you're scaring us too much. But if you're making good progress, you look fine. We're going to let you keep going. We want everyone to be finisher out here. Clip-in pedals are standard. That's kind of your call. There's benefits in both. Depending on what race it is and even what conditions there are that day would change my mind on one or the other. I've done both ways, and both ways work well out there. Nutrition. For the sprint race, you probably only need water. Really don't need many calories for a race. It's going to take about an hour and a half. 3 hour race, you may want to have some calories. We will have some hammer gel and some heat out on course. But honestly, if I was doing the 3 hour race, I would bring a cooler into transition because you guys are going to have plenty of room in transition with only 3 or 4 bikes per rack. I'd get a fresh water bottle for the bike each time, and pull out some fresh nutrition. I mean, you can just set that up and be good to go each time. All right, 3 hour race. And if you're a sprint racer, you might just want to hear this. I've had some people want to upgrade to the 3 hour. Last year I had a couple upgrade. They just didn't really know what was going on, and they saw what was happening, and they're like, oh, I can do that. So here's kind of how the 3 hour race works. Your first lap is swim, bike, run. Or for the duathlon, instead of you doing that swim, you start off with a bike. So for you, it's run, bike, run. That's your first lap. You finish with a run. Your second lap is then bike, run. So you do that run again. That's finish your second lap. Third lap, bike, run. You keep on doing this. I'm thinking the average is going to be around 3 or 4 laps. If someone gets in 5, unless I had to shorten a course for some reason, 5 is going to be pretty impressive. I think it's doable, but it's going to be tough if you can get to that 5th lap. Once 3 hours have gone by, you need to finish the lap you're on. So if you're biking on your 3rd lap and 3 hours hits, you finish that bike leg, finish the run, and then you take when you're on that run, you're going to take the finishing chute to the finish line, and we'll have that blocked off for you. If you're on your 2nd lap, that's what you finish up. So whatever lap you're on at 3 hours, you finish that lap, which each lap finishes with the run leg. Again, you don't have to go the entire 3 hours. You can finish before then. Some examples here, a placement. Let's say athlete A does 4 laps in 3 hours 5 minutes, and athlete B does 5 laps in 3 hours 30 minutes. Even though the athlete A was done in less time, athlete B has more laps. So athlete B would be placed ahead of athlete A because first it goes by how many laps you get. Which brings us to the next example. Athlete C finishes 5 laps in 3:15. Athlete D finishes 5 laps in 3:10. Athlete D wins because they finished the same number of laps, but they finished them faster than athlete C. So that's kind of a breakdown of how the 3 hour race will work. Some of the sponsors I mentioned, Good Time Running Company, Mobility, Cryotherapy, lots of great stuff with Clayton and Kyle there. Hammer Nutrition, big props to them. I contacted them less than 2 weeks ago because I wasn't even sure about this event until I opened up registration. And usually they have like 60 days they want lead time, and I just gave them a call and they said, hey, we'll help you out. So really happy with Hammer providing a little bit of nutrition and stuff for the bags there. TriFit XT, that's our kind of coaching company as well. We coach. We'll have a lot of our athletes racing out there. They do everything from Xterras, the off-road races, bike races, Ironman races. Also, Third Coast Training is another great coaching service, and they do a lot of metabolic testing as well. And then some other great other races. Huntsville Hammer. It's usually the second week in November, and the Bayou City Tri Series. I say they both helped us out. Bayou City Tri Series and the race director there, Ron, has always been so forthcoming in helping with all of our events. So we really want to thank them for everything they've done. All right, that wraps everything up. Looking forward to seeing everyone out there Sunday. Stay safe, stay dry, and we'll see you then. All right, take care.